Let's spend a little time talking about Virginia with the governor of that state, Governor Bob McDonnell, chairman of the Republican Governors Association, joining us this morning on POTUS. Governor, good to have you back. Thanks for being here this morning.
Well, what a treat to talk to your audience. Thank you.
Yeah, I am. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations on it was not too long ago when you were named the top state for business, and I know the unemployment rate has gone down in your state since you took office, but you are still having to work with budgets, and I know it's a challenge for you. Where do you stand right now? Because the budgeting in Virginia, like so many other states, you have to keep it balanced, and revenues are down. How are things looking today?
Well, like most governors, we're facing some fiscal challenges and have for 3 or 4 years now. The good news is, and I appreciate what you said, Virginia was ranked both by CNBC and by Polina as the most friendly state business in the country. It's a great selling tool for us. So we've gotten the unemployment rate down from about 7.2 to 6.3%, but it has picked up the last couple months. From the budget standpoint, we cut, when I came in last year as governor, we reduced spending by $4.2 billion to balance the budget, no tax increases, and have had a couple surpluses in a row now this year, $545 million. But we're still very concerned about the long-term or the short-term economic trends as I'm preparing the budget for next year, about another potential downturn and unfunded liabilities in our state with the pension system and unfunded mandates from Washington. So we got a long way to go, and other governors are facing the same challenges.
Governor, we were talking before with Senator Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire, and she and Senator Johnny Isakson from Georgia have submitted a letter to the Joint Select Committee on Deficit Reduction suggesting that they include in their proposals biennial budgeting. You use that in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Do you think that would work on a national level?
Well, it seems like with their the breakdowns up there, they can't even get a budget done every year anyway. It's actually embarrassing for our country that we keep having these CRs and kicking the can down the road. Biennial budgeting works here in Virginia, although we always make mid-year adjustments to the budget. Being able to and being forced to plan for 2 years makes you think a little longer term and an annual budget in Washington. So I certainly would suggest they take a serious look at it and in fact, I look at what many states are doing. They seem to be doing much better than fiscal responsibility than the Congress.
Governor, let's put on your hat, if you will, for a moment as chair of the Republican Governors Association. We had a special election this week in which acting Governor Earl Ray Tomblin was elected, and then he, of course, will have to stand for re-election next year to replace Governor Joe Manchin, who moved on to the Senate after Senator Robert Byrd died. But this was originally a runaway for the Democrat. The Republican challenger, Mr. Maloney, did pretty well in the polling. As a matter of fact, we got to Election Day, and it was about neck and neck, but it still wound up being a Democratic victory. As chair of the Governors Association, and I know nationally Republicans spent a lot of money on this state, how would you view that? Was it a loss for the Republicans? Is it somehow you spin it into a win? How do you take on that result?
Well, no, we, of course, hate to lose. Bill Maloney is a very accomplished businessman and ran a very good race. But you pointed out the dynamics. The registration for Democrats over Republicans is 2-1 in West Virginia. Governor Manchin won the last 2 governors' elections by 25 points, and this turns out to be a three-point race for the Democrat, who ironically got both the NRA endorsement and the pro-life endorsement. Typically go into the Republicans. So it was a competitive race. We did work hard on it, but we would thought that West Virginians would have been in great shape with Bill Maloney as governor. We're disappointed, but there's an election next year. This is a special election, and West Virginia, along with 10 other states, will have governor's elections in November of 12 when President Obama's at the top of the ticket, and we think in some of those states that's going to help us. And so we're disappointed, but we're encouraged about our chances for next year.
And speaking of 2012, it looks like right now we've got a matchup of 2 former governors for the Senate race there, former Senator George Allen and former Governor George Allen, and former Governor Tim Kaine on the Democratic side. How would you handicap that race right now?
I think it's a dead heat. Most of the polls have showed that for a while, although the 14 months out probably don't mean a whole lot. It will certainly be a battle of the Titans. They're both very gifted speakers for their respective views. George Allen was a great governor, did a great job as a United States Senator, and I think he'll easily win the primary, as will Governor Kaine. He's a very talented politician. I was his lawyer as Attorney General when he was governor, and he's a very capable person. So I think it's a dead heat. But, again, I think Republicans have had a great 2 years. I won by 18 points in Virginia. We picked up 3 congressional seats last year, and I think Virginia is still a right-of-center state, and I think we'll win for our Republican nominee, and I think that'll help our Senate candidate.
Governor, it's always a pleasure. We'll look forward to having you in the studio at some point. I mean, I know you come up to here to D.C. every once in a while to do some radio shows. Hopefully you can stop by the studio sometime.
Well, that would be fun, and I would love to get on and talk to your serious listeners all over the country. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we even give free water, by the way, if you come in, so you'll be all set.
Oh, well, we're on.
Governor, thanks. It's always great to talk to you.
A pleasure.
Thanks.